Hello kiddos, I'm Pooja and today's story is The Little Squirrel and the Nut Basket. Once upon a time, there was a small squirrel named Nutty. Nutty was having a tough time because she couldn't find any nuts for days. So, the little squirrel started searching for nuts everywhere, but Nutty couldn't find any. She even looked in every tree hole, but they were empty. All her efforts went in vain. Because Nutty hadn't eaten for days, she became very thin. One day, she went out again to look for nuts. Suddenly, she saw a big basket on the ground. When Nutty saw that, she thought there might be nuts inside. So, she cautiously went closer to the basket, making sure no one saw her. As she reached the basket, she found it filled with delicious nuts. But then she wondered, how can I get inside? The basket was big and Nutty wasn't as strong as before because she hadn't eaten. How can I get in? She wondered. Although Nutty couldn't figure out how to get inside the basket, she kept looking. Suddenly, she spotted a tiny hole in the basket. Nutty thought she could get inside through that hole. Without waiting, she started squeezing through the hole into the basket. Inside the basket, Nutty found a feast of nuts. She could eat them for days. So, she happily started munching on the nuts. Day by day, she ate a little more, then a little more until she had eaten a lot. One day, Nutty realized she had eaten more than enough. Satisfied with her nut feast, she decided to come out of the basket. But guess what? Nutty had become so chubby after overeating that she couldn't fit through the tiny hole. Feeling scared, Nutty screamed, "Oh no, I'm stuck! Please help me get out. How can I escape?" Just then, a wise rabbit was hopping by. He heard Nutty's cries and stopped to see what was happening. The rabbit asked, "What's wrong?" Nutty explained, "I'm stuck here. I can't get out through the hole." She shared her story with the rabbit and asked for a solution. The rabbit wisely said, "If you want to come out, wait until you become thin again. That's the only way you can fit through the hole," and he hopped away. Now, Nutty had no choice but to wait for days to become thin again. So she stayed inside the basket without eating, even though there were still plenty of nuts left. So, what has the squirrel story taught us? That too much greed is never good for anyone. Thank you so much for listening to me.